Yes. Oh, yes. Phone number for Loveline. 1-800-LOVE-191.
Mike?
Is that phone number?
Okay.
Great. I'll take this one off. Fax number 310-854-4455. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Allegedly, our guest tonight is Michelle Phillips. Now, Michelle is one of the members, or was one of the members of the Mamas and the Papas, which was a group that was very hot in the later 60s. And just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by the way. I don't know if that's aired on TV yet or not. I think the inductions went down in the last couple of days, and there's going to be some TV specials or something in the next couple of days, along with the Eagles and who? Ann? Santana. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. Was the Eagles this year? I had a list here, and some blues singers and that kind of stuff. Anyway. She's also the mom of China Phillips, who's real hot, too, from the Wilson Phillips group, which we had on the TV show last weekend. So anyway, also she was on, Knots Landing? She's an actress. She got out of the singing thing and got right into the acting thing. You can only be so good-looking and stay in singing for so long before the camera beckons. They didn't have videos. I'll bet if they had videos back then, she would have stayed in singing.
Interesting.
Yeah, because she's such a tremendously attractive woman that nowadays that just translates into record sales, especially with videos.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
I mean, Stevie Nicks and her, and there's a handful of others, probably would have done real well if they did a lot of videos.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Moms and Pops ever did a video. But anyway, she's not here yet. That's all right. We're used to that here on Loveline. So, I got a dog today.
You did?
Yes.
Wait a minute. You have a mouse.
I got a mouse,
I didn't have to get a cat.
Yeah, I should have got a cat. But I got a dog.
What kind of dog?
German Shepherd.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Big Nazi dog.
A puppy?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And I thought about you immediately because I got up early. I was running around all day. Took Grandma out for dinner tonight.
Did she...
She was delightful.
Did she tip a few?
Yeah, she had a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And she ordered a gimlet. I think we're at the Gaucho Grill. It was kind of funny. My grandmother's great. You know, she's very hip to many things, but in other ways, she has that sort of speakeasy bathtub chin sort of thing going. And the waitress came by and she said, would you guys like anything to drink? We're at the Gaucho Grill. It's pretty much iced tea or nothing, you know. Maybe you get a Coors Light over there. And anyway, she came by and Grandma said, yeah, I'll have a gimlet. And she was like, huh? Highball. What's that? Gimlet. We don't have giblet.
Yes, Your Royal Highness.
We don't have... Oh, okay, so she had a glass of wine. But only one. She's probably listening now, so I don't want to say anything bad about her. She's in fine spirits and home from Germany, where she was visiting.
Oh, no kidding! How great.
Anyway,
she's 80. How much?
My grandmother is 83.
Oh, fantastic!
And has been to Europe probably 30 times.
Wow.
I mean, she was going during the days when, prop planes and the little Pan Am bag, and when you used to dress to get on an airplane. Now everyone's just wearing sweatpants and a shirt that's beer stained.
Yeah.
Back then, people would put a coat on.
Sure.
And, a cap.
Get your picture coming on?
Sure. Anyway, got a German Shepherd, but here's what I was thinking. Why I was thinking of you. The dog walked into the house and immediately took a dump that was bigger than the dog. The dog hadn't been in the house all day. I mean, because I was out in the garage working the whole day, and it was out there. It was very cute. I had I didn't have a leash yet, but I took one of my boxing hand wraps, which is about 20 feet long, and it's sort of nylon, and tied it to the dog's collar, and then tied that to a bench vise or something. And the dog stayed in the garage with me for about 5 hours. And then we went up inside the house. Dog walked in. Took a dump the size of a grizzly bear size dump, bigger than the dog. Like whoever was keeping the dog wouldn't let it do that for the last 6 months. But anyway,
how old is it?
The dog is 10 weeks, so it's a pup.
Cute.
I would if I didn't take Grandma out tonight. I would have brought in. I'll bring it.
Bring him tomorrow.
purebred German Shepherd, female, great-looking dog. You guys love this dog. I'll bring it in. So here's what I was thinking of you, Drew. So it comes 5:30, and I say, I got to take a nap, man. I mean, I've been up all day.
Dog won't let you.
I'm tired as hell, and I'm going to put the dog in the living room, and I'm going to put the little divider thing in, and I'll put the little bowl, and I'll put the little blanket. I'm going to go up to the bedroom. I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to turn my little noise-making fan on, and I'm going to go down for like an hour and 15 minutes because I am whooped. Head hit the pillow. Dog started yapping and howling and howling. And lied there for about 20 minutes thinking I was going to... Nope. Got up, put the shoes on, put the leash on, dragged the dog around the neighborhood.
I want you to realize that's a dog.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking of you.
I have 3 of them.
You have 3 dogs.
Oh, well, they're not dogs.
I mean, 3 kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I know. Kristen.
Yes, sir.
You're 16.
Yes.
What's going on?
I was going out with a guy for like a month. I'd known him for about 2. About last time I talked to him was Sunday the 4th, and he just stopped calling all of a sudden. Sunday he told me I'm going to call you tomorrow. Never heard from him. And I called his house like...
Wait, hang on. How long had you gone out with him?
Like a month.
A month. How'd you meet him?
In a mall.
How often were you seeing him?
Pretty much every day, every other day.
Did they let him keep the Santa suit?
What? I met him before Christmas.
There's a little mall humor there. You met her in the mall about a month ago? Yeah.
I got it. Even I got it.
Drew's great. He just acknowledges humor now. He's great. All right, so you met him. So he's not calling you back.
Right, no, and I'd call his house, and he's amazingly never home.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it.
That's it?
It's over. Put a fork in this one. It's done.
Okay.
And also, the guy's kind of a jerk, too.
Yeah.
You didn't know that about him, but now you do know that about him.
I guess
he's a
not.
coward. He's a coward.
Yeah, and he's a coward.
Is that laugh?
No, that's not the pot-smoking laugh. That's the maniacal, I'm going to make some man miserable one day laugh. That's Snidely Whiplash laugh.
Adam?
Yeah.
I'm 16. I know the Freebird.
You do?
Yes.
You know Skinner's Freebird?
Yes.
Yeah. Drew didn't know Skinner's Freebird. Well, he did, but he thought it came out in 1984 or something.
I know.
I didn't really know.
You know it came out in the early 70s, right?
Yeah, and then they died, now their kids do it.
Oh, their kids do it?
Something like that. And my mom was telling me about it. I don't know.
Maybe it's Rosington Collins or something that took over for Leonard Skinner. I'm looking for names for the dog, by the way, if anyone has any good suggestions. It's real embarrassing doing that. Hey, dude!
Leonard.
Now, you know what I got to call the dog? I realized it's got to be a female name because the dog's a female. And I thought, it should be a German name because, after all, the dog's German. And then I thought, no, I think it should be a Jewish name because I don't want people to perceive the dog as being anti-Semitic.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It's a German Shepherd.
Russian names are cool, too.
Russian names. Oh. Yeah. I was thinking of naming Heidi.
That's my mom's name.
Oh, it is?
Heidi's more feminine.
It's a girl.
Gretchen. Yeah.
Gretchen is the other one. That's the one my mom suggested.
How about Mitya?
Mitya?
There's some good Russian names.
It's so avant-garde, though, Drew.
Sasha, Katya.
I don't want people to think I'm making a statement with the dog's name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't like it when people name after, famous composers and that kind of stuff. It's always so highbrow. David.
Yeah.
You're 16.
Yeah.
Turn something down.
Turn it down, Nicole. It's my little sister.
Yeah. What's going on?
There's a big problem here. First of all, I wanted to say you guys are just it. You guys are the bomb.
Thank you.
And
hold on, that means good, Drew. Okay.
And second, the problem is that I've been seeing this girl for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, 4 months pregnant now?
Mm-hmm.
And the other day I walked in her house because her mom likes me, and she just left me in. And I caught her with another girl in a bed.
And this is while her mom was home?
Oh, no, her mom was not. Her mom was at work.
You said your mom...
I love the way people describe a story. The other day I went over to her house, and, she let me in because her mom likes me a lot.
Mom let me in.
I don't even know if it's her mom.
She said, because mom likes me.
She let me in. Yeah, mom let me in because mom likes me a lot. And I went in, and she was on bed with another girl. Oh, while her mom was home? No, she was at work. All right. David?
Yeah?
How'd you get in the house?
What do you mean? Oh, I just walked in.
Let's get Mr. Haney. in here. I thought you said the mom let you in.
No, like she doesn't care if I just walk in.
Oh, I see.
I see.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, you really have to have telepathy to communicate with a lot of our listeners.
Maybe it's us that's sort of out of the loop. Maybe most people use some form of telepathy. We're just not skilled at that.
No, he was just thinking the mom thing.
Yeah,
when he was saying
yes,
it.
And my mom and dad, they don't know that she's pregnant, but her mom does.
And these
she
are
don't
your,
have a dad.
And these are your kids.
She doesn't have a dad.
She don't. Her dad just, I don't know, some divorced and then left and never came back.
That is so surprising, isn't it, Drew? That a young girl would be pregnant whose dad was absent?
How old is she?
How old is she? 16, also.
And she's going to keep the child?
Yeah.
And she wouldn't want to give it up for adoption, would she?
She don't believe in that.
You really hot?
Well, it's past the abortion state.
You're hot on the adoption these days.
I'm hot on the adoption, like I'm hot on putting down animals that have been in the kennel for too long. I don't think it's the greatest idea, but what are our choices?
Whatever works.
They start eating each other eventually.
Yeah.
So David.
Yeah.
So you're going to be daddy, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How'd you get her pregnant?
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean,
why didn't you use protection?
Yeah, that was my question.
I had before, but it just happened, and I didn't want it.
Yeah. It's not an everyday thing, this protection.
Yeah, protection isn't something you use once and then say, I'm doing it right.
I used it, but for like a while, and then boom, I just didn't, and it happened.
Right.
Well, that's the way it works.
There's no time release condom, is there, Drew?
Not that I'm aware of.
You know what I was thinking of, though, now that I got a dog, and how the spay and neuter thing is so cruel? What about condoms for dogs? Do they have that?
Not that I'm aware of.
That seems very cruel to do that to a dog. Why not? If you could get a condom on him, I think you could go that route. Okay. So, David, your girlfriend is possibly a lesbian.
Yeah.
She's for sure pregnant.
Yep.
And
and both you're very confused.
And you haven't confronted her on this yet. Did you say anything when you walked in?
No, she kind of told me to get out.
So she knows you saw us.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I don't know what to say, Dave. It's just a horrible situation. Your girlfriend really is in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you are going to be or plan to be a part of the baby's life, but the relationship here...
You are?
Yeah.
The relationship is in complete...
When are you going to tell your folks so they can start saving?
I don't know. I'll have to wait for the right time.
Yeah.
It makes sure I feel comfortable with it.
Right. And did you talk about an abortion back when?
I told her when I first found out, and she said, "No, I can't do that. I don't believe in that."
Right. Don't believe in abortion. Doesn't believe in adoption.
I didn't. I just wanted to know.
But is a big fan of premarital sex and lesbian experimentation.
How old was this girlfriend's mother when she gave birth to your girlfriend?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Let's do some math now.
Yeah.
How old do you think she is now?
Huh?
How old do you think the mom is now?
Probably like 33, maybe.
Make her right in there. 16.
Right. Well, she was at the ripe old age of maybe 17.
When she gave birth, 16, when she got pregnant, perhaps.
Yeah.
She's right in mom's footsteps.
All right, so...
Please. God,
everybody,
women,
stop having
please,
sex.
Break
Everybody
the cycle.
stop it. Nobody can have sex but me. And for me, only on weekends and only with robust black women. This is my new policy. This is ridiculous at this point. Oh, I want to come confiscate his penis, and I want to take her ovaries while I'm out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what do you do? I don't know. Everybody give everyone up for adoption. There you go. I don't care if it was in vitro fertilization, and you're both lawyers, and you're in your 40s. You give them up for adoption.
Right now.
That's my new motto. Steven.
Yeah, hey.
You're 29.
Correct. That's right. That's right. Is Michelle Phillips there yet?
No, she's not.
Who's your to-be guest?
Our guests have a... All right, no.
Anne's going to talk.
Congratulate Michelle for me. And,
Yeah, she just called. She should be here any second.
Okay, well, I was also wondering, is all the mamas and papas inducted? Or was that just honor for Michelle?
Everybody.
Oh, great. That's fantastic.
How cruel would that be? Just to
Hey,
put on one
you
check.
didn't mention that. I
said the mamas and the papas.
Sure, well, you know, I didn't hear
Listen, if I said the Beatles, would you think they'd left Paul or Ringo out?
They should.
Well, maybe Ringo.
Steven, what's your question?
My question is, and Also, to clear up the before Ronnie does a 360 in his grave, Johnny was his brother. For any, fans out there. That's what happened. It wasn't sons or daughters or anything like that. Look, my question is
what the hell is he talking about? Hang on here. Hold on.
You talking about John Phillips?
No. I'm talking about Johnny Van Zant, who's singing for Leonard Skinner right now.
Oh, our Leonard Skinner thing.
Right.
Yeah. Johnny Van Zant
was a brother. In '87, they came back out in honoring his brother Ronnie, who had died in the plane crash. It wasn't like his son came in, like Bonham's son did.
Right. Isn't that a Rosington Collins thing, though? Now.
Well, not exactly. Right. But in any case, that's obscuring my question.
All right. What is your question?
My girlfriend has gone through some treatment for a hyperactive thyroid, and what they did was
radiation.
Right, with iodine.
Yeah.
And before then, we were having a lot of problems and a lot of emotional things happening that probably shouldn't have happened. Just fights that didn't need to happen.
Because she was what's called thyrotoxic.
Right. And she was taking medication for that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that she's gone through the treatment and basically, I guess, is killing the thyroid.
Right.
And then at that point, they can use a safer medication to do what the thyroid does.
Right.
What should I expect? Should I expect some more stable emotion?
Yeah. You should expect her to be back to normal.
Well, it's been a long time.
You don't know what normal is.
I do, because we've had a baby. She's 3 years old.
It's been a long time since the ablation, or it's been a long time that she has been hyperthyroid?
Well, no. Well, I mean, it was completely, fantastic. It was just magical before, after the baby. This is when it all came about. I don't know if it was the cause, but this condition.
Was she having a mood disorder after the pregnancy too?
Oh, well, yeah, even during.
So was she treated for that?
Well, I don't know. We've talked about that before, but she's real reluctant to, consider that.
Well, that is just as biological as her thyroid storm. Sure. What we're talking about here is the thyroid gland, which is sort of the accelerator of the body's metabolic system. You're needed to survive. Occasionally, it will become overactive. He's describing something called Graves' disease, which is where the immune system attacks the thyroid gland and starts dumping thyroid hormone into the system, and people become extremely hyperactive and irritable.
Would you lose weight too?
Lose weight. It's like being on speed.
Would you grow a mustache?
No, you just get thin and shaky and irritable and high pulse rate, and it's miserable. It is miserable. But you can take a radioactive form of iodine and have the gland ablated, just eliminated, and then they try to give the dose that will restore the thyroid function back to normal. But usually, what happens, they end up just knocking it out, and people end up on thyroid hormone by mouth.
You mean taking pills?
Yeah.
Thyroid hormone by mouth. They're like sucking on big thyroid jawbreaker or something. All right, Drew, I'm not right. I'm on pain medication myself.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Doubled up. Listen, I'm a pussy.
Uh-oh.
I feel the slight inkling in there.
Did something happen?
Just, no.
Just that one thing last night?
No, I could feel it. Yeah. You know when you feel it?
Yeah.
Bend down.
Oh, yeah.
When you're being sodom? When you're tying your shoe?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Maria. What the hell is that?
It's pronounced Maria.
Maria.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening there, Maria? You're 13.
Yeah.
You got your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah. Actually, I was sort of wondering, me and my friend Beth, we sort of had the same problem, but I guess mine was more abusive. But what happened was that when I was younger, I was sexually harassed or sexually molested or whatever by my older friend.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Female or male?
Female.
What happened?
And
what happened, and how old were you?
I was 5 or 6 to the time I was 10 or 11.
What happened?
I don't know. She would just touch me and kiss me.
That was a long camping trip. Yeah. Who is this? How old was the older friend?
I don't know. She's about 15 now.
At the time, how old was she?
She was probably about 7 or 8.
So well, do the math. She's 2 years. She's 2 years older than you are.
Mm-hmm.
And she was touching and kissing.
Yeah, because she was abused when she was younger.
Oh
too.
Boy!
And
pass it on.
You have no evidence to back that up, please.
And I started to have a belief that, I don't know, something like that, like, happened to me with my uncle also.
Oh, really?
And my father sort of knows about it. And also, when I met you guys, I asked you about it, Dr. Drew, because I told you that my father's trying to pull me away from my mother.
Yeah.
And so,
where did you meet Drew?
Yeah, I asked him about that at
Where?
Camp Cami, too.
Did he try to touch you in any way?
Who,
No.
my father or
Drew?
No.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you, thankfully I don't have a brother, because if I had a kid, I'd put him down. I'd kill him.
Your brother?
Yeah, if I had a brother and I had a kid,
I see.
I'd put a bullet in him.
Right.
Everyone's uncle wants a piece of the niece. I don't know what that is. Half the uncles coming. What is that impulse? Could you imagine? My sister just had a kid. He's like 1.5 now. He's coming out here from Germany in a month. What is that impulse to go, let me go diddle him? What is that impulse?
Bizarre.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather put my penis in a tree shredder. I really would. It's the same impulse. I have just as much impulse to do that. What is that?
I certainly don't get it. It's something unique. But I'll tell you what, that I suspect it's more what happened to you before that's impacting on you than this girlfriend.
Well, what about the uncle?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that was before.
Yeah. Did the girlfriend become overtly sexual with you?
Well, she was, every time I wouldn't do anything with her, she would, like, lock me in the closet and, like, hit me and stuff like that.
Oh, my God. But you took that.
My parents sort of found out that she was hitting me because in my room, she, like, locked me in my closet, and she would, like, beat me down every time I got up.
Why'd you hang with her for 5 years?
Right.
Well, because, I don't know, I guess I was sort of used to it, because
See, here's Drew's hypothesis.
Yeah.
I'll speak for you, Drew.
Thank you.
Something turned you into the type of person that would hang out with someone for 5 years after constant closet beatings.
Right.
And that something or someone is your uncle.
And your dad.
And your dad, who got you before the girl in the closet.
Oh, see, my parents always used to fight in front of me when I was, like, really little.
Boy.
And, like, I don't know, they would just always fight with each other and everything like that, and I was always in the middle.
And that's part of it. That's part of it, too, I'm sure.
And then, I don't know, my dad always, like, has affairs on my mom.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Now, what's your question for us?
Well, I was just wondering, is like, the reason why I'm liking girls now the same?
Yes.
Is that the reason?
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Absolutely. She's 13. She's into girls. You don't know what you're into because of all the stuff that was done to you.
Yeah.
It's like you can't make your own decision sexually because someone made the decision for you 10 years ago, and now you're screwed. So here's what you need to do. You're fine. See, you're very smart. You're 13, and you're getting into issues that other people don't get into until they're 33.
Right.
And you're doing it at 13, which doesn't make for much of a happy childhood, but it sure as hell is better in the big picture because by the time you're 20, you can have a good relationship, go to school and do all that crap, and not have to go through, marry 5 alcoholic junkies before you get some therapy.
Oh.
So what you need to do, I think, now is not act on this stuff.
Right. Just
realize it's an impulse from the past.
Right.
And start looking into some counseling.
That and develop your friendships and develop your talents at school and that's your interest. That's
how I thought my parents were kind of crappy.
Oh, suddenly
I'm now revising that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was raised by Bill Cosby and Nancy Reagan. That was my family. That is what I'm likening them to now after all this horrible abuse. My second thought is they should do away with education at schools and just open big counseling centers. That's what we're going to need in this country. That's what we're heading for.
Wow.
Where we, instead of a big public school with, the basketball hoops and the tetherball and the classrooms and the 2,200 students.
A bunch of cubicles.
Just a bunch of offices with a bad fern and a guy wearing a deep-cut corduroy jacket with the suede patches on the sleeves, funky hair and a bad mustache. The good news is, kids, is that the 8-hour school day would only be 4 hours and 45 minutes if therapists were running it. I mean, we just have to have big counseling centers. That's it, where we apologize for abuse and sexuals. You know what I mean? Forget about education. Let's just counsel.
Because we're certainly not getting anywhere with the education.
All right.
Couldn't be much worse.
Allegedly, Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and the Papas, recent inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I wish they just called it the Music Hall of Fame. That sounds kind of corny. She'll be in here soon, so we'll be back.
The voices are trying to throw me off while I'm trying to concentrate on this.
Okay, you're safe.
Thank you. Loveline will be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Adam West. You know me, I suppose, as Batman Don't Tell Anyone. You're going to help make the world a little safer by listening to Loveline every night with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes, you can. Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, I'll say this again for Michelle's. An FYI for Michelle. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist. Not like a counselor or love doctor or anything like that. All right, so Michelle Phillips is here. Michelle was with the Mamas and the Papas and recently got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which was... What day? I've been seeing it all over the TV for the last couple of days, but I don't know what day the actual induction or enshrinement was.
It was Monday night at the Waldorf Astoria. It was a lot of fun.
And
everyone
quite
nuts.
And quite a tribute to the Mamas and the Papas. It was 20. I was reading that it takes 25 years before you become eligible. Wait, 6, 7, 6, 8.
Yeah. Your record has to have been released for 25 years.
Your first official release.
No. Yeah, right. Your first official release. We were well within the 25-year mark.
Right. Was it like they do, and you may not know the answer to this, but like in the Baseball and Football Hall of Fame, they have certain names that come up each year. Yes. And it's like, well, this year's the first year Steve Garvey's eligible, but he got passed by. But right. he may make it 10 years from now.
We were eligible last year, and we were passed by. We were eligible for it 5 years ago.
Right.
And we didn't get nominated. I was starting to get a little antsy.
Yeah, because why? It's been 25 years. It's not like you guys are cutting another record. I mean, and it's not like history is going to change. You'd think, okay, you wait 25 years, then you weigh the band on its merits, then
you think
either you take them or you don't.
Projecting forward, they'd have a plan for who they're going to put in and not, so they give you an idea when you're going to go in.
Well, I don't think they want you to think that that's just a given.
Right, not necessarily going to happen.
And did they take?
You're supposed to. Listen. I know the scrutiny that goes into being nominated at the Rock. Although, there are people who think that there's not enough scrutiny that goes into who's nominated.
Right.
I think Robert Hilburn. What's his name?
Robert
Hilburn. Hilburn. What's his name? The LA Times.
He's a writer.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't read.
Oh.
I just watch Baywatch and masturbate.
Okay, well, that's...
Not in that order always, too.
Yeah,
but
there's nothing wrong with that.
What did Robert have to say?
He said that the most interesting musical moment came when we sang California Dreamin', but that our nomination and induction was suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Not suspect. What was the word he used? It was, like he wasn't quite sure that we really should have gotten into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But what determines that? It's determined by the people who vote there, and those are the,
I'll tell you
people in the industry.
Yeah, and how many people do vote, by the way? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to get all that information because I think it's really interesting.
Well, I'll tell you, truthfully, I think when you hear Mamas and the Papas, you wouldn't think Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but if you went back and looked at the number of hits they had and the amount of work that was put out in a fairly short period of time, wasn't it? I mean,
2.5 years, but that's not supposed to count.
I know, but I would count that anyway. I mean, the number of singles and hits that were put out in a span that was cut short. Period. Because the band was going when Mama Cass Elliot died, wasn't it?
No. We quit really because we were completely exhausted and completely had no more creativity. I mean, there was nothing left. There were no more songs to be written. We couldn't do any more in 2.5 years that we did.
Well, how did the whole thing? I'm very interested in the whole story. How old were you first? Now, did you were you married to John Phillips before the band started?
Yeah, for quite some time. I was married to him from the time I was 18, and I think the band started when I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a long time for me at the time.
And he's older than you.
He's 9 years older than I am.
Oh, and this guy. Imagine getting an 18-year-old Michelle Phillips. This guy, and he was 20.
Right out of high school.
He was 27 at the time.
Yeah, he was 26 when I met him.
Nice. I pulled a Sonny Bono maneuver. Oh, imagine. Oh, this, by the way, for those who, for some reason, don't know what Michelle Phillips looked like, it's just, even at the, what are you, 53 now or something?
53.
No makeup and looks amazing at 53. And forget about 18. I mean, oh, my God. What's it like to be so good-looking for so long? To have people treat you that way for so many years. Aren't you warped? Wouldn't you be warped by that?
You could look just like me if you stayed out of the sun. You got your 8 hours of rest. You took a lot of vitamin C and E.
No. All that garbage about writing a book and doing yoga and putting banana peels on your face. Forget about it.
You can't stay out of the sun.
This is it. No.
For your own vanity.
You had an amazing hand dealt to you genetically that is, I mean, you should be giving God $10 a week for the rest of your life for what he did for you genetically. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is look at the daughter, China, and she looks, she's a spitting image of you.
There it goes. That's pretty much what I looked like.
Oh,
when I was
she should be sending. Here's the way it should work. China should send you $10 a week, and then you should not even take it out of the envelope and forward it right to Jesus. Or maybe, wait a minute, maybe you give it to your mom and then she sends it along to Jesus. Eventually, it's got to go to Jesus. But
I'm an orphan now, so I think it has to go straight.
So go right from you to Jesus? If you've never seen bones like this in a family, is there anything I could harvest from Michelle? I mean, don't. He's a doctor. Don't take this the wrong way.
I do not have great hands. This is.
I don't care. Science will have remedied that by the time we have children. I'm just saying. I know. You probably don't want to be carrying around an embryo for or fetus or zygote for 9 months at this point in your life.
What your genetic load would do to this?
Yeah, but think what my genetic load would do to a mortal. I'd have a mongoloid baby.
Oh, that's true.
Right. So that's why I need.
You just bought a German Shepherd, so you're done.
What are these two talking about?
Here's what I'm saying. I want to know if I can harvest an egg or something. I got to get something from the Phillips gene pool. I can get like a graft or something from her for later.
That's what I was going to say. You're going to have to go to the younger.
Who's she married to? William?
Billy Baldwin, the cutest guy you've ever seen, and the greatest son-in-law you could ask for in the world.
And what do you
just adores me?
When you guys get together, you and China and Billy, do you all just sit around and talk about how great it is to be good looking? You must just talk for hours about. Everyone just sit around. Hey, let's just talk about how great it is to be so damn good looking.
No, you don't have to. It's just a given.
Oh, is she pregnant? Does she have a kid?
No.
Oh,
but they would like that.
That's what that kid's going to look like.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God, I have to believe that. Nah.
I think we're starting a whole new race.
Yeah, I think Hitler had a name for them. I can't remember what they. Aryan, was it? All right. Anyway, now we got to go to break. We're going to come back. We'll
let's hear what one call is going to be at least.
Let's
touch base with the listener.
That would be a good idea.
All right.
We're well into the show here.
Todd, you're 21.
Yes.
What do you want?
Well, what my problem is there's possibly a girl pregnant with my child. I'm not really sure if the child's mine or not. And the whole time, that we were seeing each other, she was, she's been lying to me and all this stuff.
About what?
Well, she had a boyfriend in prison, and she said, "Oh, he's an ass," and she don't want nothing more to do with him. And then,
all right, I think we got the picture.
Okay. All right. So hold on, Todd.
Okay.
This is good. This is a Knots Landing type episode.
Sure.
That's a very smooth segue. Drew was a huge fan of the Knots Landing, by the way.
Really?
His one of the few TV shows he's ever admitted to watching. So
true.
Be flattered. All right, when we come back, we'll sort out Todd's pregnancy dilemma.
I don't think they're aware of how much they suck.
Hey, that's not very nice. You kissed my mother with that mouth? I mean, your mother? Loveline will be right back.
This is Quickie from Lenny, and when I need some love advice, I listen to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
That is true. And the phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Michelle Phillips is here.
Who are we talking to?
Who were we talking to?
Todd.
Okay, Todd. Michelle Phillips is, you know her from being Michelle Phillips and the Mamas and the Papas and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they can never take that away from you. Todd.
Yes.
You're 21.
Yes.
So your girlfriend is pregnant. You're not clear it's your child because you found out she had been cheating on you when you were dating. Is that right?
Yeah.
What was that relationship like when you were seeing her?
It wasn't really a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. It was more like just sex partners. That was about it.
All right. All right. What's her story? I mean, what's her family life?
Her family life, her mother's a drug
okay.
alcoholic.
She's dating a guy in prison.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I heard that, and that's what I figured we'd hear a story like that.
Yeah, well,
so she was an abused person, right? Her whole life she was raised in a chaotic, abusive environment, and now she's going out into her peer adult life. Is she young?
Yeah, she is.
How old is she?
She'll be 16.
Oh,
she's just
Todd.
a child.
But Todd is one of the abusers. She's selected to perpetuate this life of victimization that she's selected for herself.
Yeah.
And now she's pregnant.
I can't condone this unless you guys form a band. If you're not going to form a band, this is completely out of the question.
Yeah.
So you're not forming a band.
I mean,
Todd, you're 21. You're having sex with someone who will be 16, is it?
I mean,
well, it never, when it first started, you know.
Wait, no excuses.
Oh, I mean, I'm not making excuses.
Who cares? So you had sex with somebody, it's probably against the law. What state you calling from?
And you didn't even use a condom.
But I did use a condom. See, those are my whole problems right there.
Oh, wait a minute. You had sex. You used a condom.
Yeah.
And she got pregnant?
Yeah.
How many times did you have sex with her, if you remember?
Quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you wore a condom every time?
Yes. Every time.
Condom functioned, as far as you know, didn't break.
Yeah, good boy.
None of them broke.
I think you can
probably BS. Is he?
That's what DNA tests are about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but
my problem is now is that the guy who was in jail, who she the whole time was, you know, this guy's a jerk. I don't want nothing more to do with him. Who she already had a child by.
Oh my God! At 15.
Yeah, and
second child. Oh, team.
Hey.
I got a hit squad.
Yeah,
Michelle, I haven't explained my what I'm going to do when I get into power, but you've heard other officials talking about the weed and seed program. I'm just going to weed. There'll be no reseeding. I'm just going to go around this great nation of ours, and I'm going to take out all the pedophiles, all the abusers, all the teenage moms. I'm going to round them up.
Well, teenage
I'm looking
moms,
at purchasing part of Baja.
You're going to get the parents of the teenage moms.
Yeah, I'm going after the folks.
Yeah.
And then I will not replace them with anybody.
That's right.
There will be no seeding, just the weeding. Just thin the herd a little bit. Because guys like Todd and Todd's felon friend and this 15-year-old, and most importantly, the 15-year-old's parents. Absolutely. And I'm sure their parents before that.
Yeah. It's let me ask you something. What is her economic situation?
Oh, they're probably middle, you know, they don't...
No, it ain't Knots Landing, is it?
Do what?
They're middle.
Yeah.
They're middle. Okay, and so she hasn't been to school since she was, what, 13, 14?
She dropped out when she was 13, and then she just recently went back.
All right, but what are you doing having sex with someone like this? What's up with you?
I really don't, you know, I look at people that I've had opportunities to with, and I can't, you know, other than the fact that it was just sex, that was...
Okay. Wait, listen, you sound fairly harmless, Todd, but...
But you're not.
Yeah.
Well,
Todd is just his penis is
right.
out with a vengeance.
You know what, Todd, I got to tell you something. You're old enough to take responsibility, for what you're doing, and you're screwing this baby. I mean, you know, I have children. I know how young 13 is.
Hold on, do you have other kids?
Do I?
Yeah, I have a 15-year-old boy and a 16-year-old boy. Oh,
the boys? Oh, I'd have to think about that.
That's a nightmare.
If you had another daughter.
Wait. This really sounds
15 and
terrible.
16. Oh, are they good looking?
Boys
are they real good looking too?
Beautiful.
They must look like that band Nelson. Is it Nelson?
They're actually cuter. Nelson looks a little wimpy with that long
If you're cuter than Nelson,
hair.
you just become women at a certain point. At a certain point, a guy gets so good looking he becomes a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, my guys are guys.
Oh, a couple of.
Can you imagine that?
I really would date them.
No, wait, but
I'm not even gay.
Put yourself in Michelle's position for a second. I mean, mother of 2 teenage males.
Oh,
come on.
No, I know.
I live in dread when my kids turn 12. I'm just preparing now for that.
I will pray for you.
So
I'll pray for you.
You'll need it.
You can't control them, can you?
No.
They're wild.
No. And you know what? China was a doll. I mean, China was she was a great child. She was a creative and loving and happy and blah blah blah.
Right.
The boys
are wild. It's a total difference. And you know, you put
a new fabric on the wall. They shoot it up with arrows.
Right. And what is this business that everybody? Whenever we go to colleges and speak, people come up to me and want to take issue with the fact that I make the point that there's an extreme biological difference between men and women. I mean, you've raised boys and girls now. Is it not the case that the difference is profound?
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
China did not take an arrow and shoot it at and create a sword out of everything that she picks up with her hand.
And blow things up. I mean, have the police are at my door at least every 3 months. You know, and I'm serious. I mean, they come up, you know, they say, look, we're not sure if your guys did this, but your neighbors think that they might have put the cherry bomb that exploded in their mailbox.
We found a lot of blonde hair around the mailbox, man, and a few caps. It looked like from a tooth.
And then they bring them home one night, like at 12:30, and they say, you know, we really are enforcing the curfew. I said, they were asleep.
But where's
they went out, and then they weren't doing anything bad.
They do stuff together. They gang up on you.
They were skateboarding up on the hills.
They gang up on you, though, 2 of them together.
Yeah, but you need who is the father of these kids? Because my theory is dad wasn't around enough. They need discipline, and they don't listen to mom for discipline.
Well,
you know what?
Aggressive.
It would be great to have a real disciplinarian in the house.
That's what I could be for you.
But I was not prepared for this. Okay, I had children. I thought I knew exactly what I was doing. Boys are completely different, and they take a really, really strong aggressive hand. They should be in Boy Scouts from the day they can walk.
Yeah, but they need, don't you think they need a male figure that they're frightened of or that they respect immensely?
Several.
Yeah, like a squad.
Yeah.
Like the
school,
Army Rangers.
Home,
right.
Everybody.
Yeah, I don't have any kids, but my male boys are going to watch me beat the crap out of the heavy bag. Like clockwork, once a week, we're going to go down the garage, and they're going to watch Dad just go nuts on a big punching bag. And
no, you know what? And that's not going to do.
My kids are going to be scared of me.
Much more clever than that. Scared if he doesn't work either.
And then when I'm older, they're going to watch me go down the garage and shoot the heavy bag with a 9mm pistol. I just want my boys scared of me. No, not scared. I want them to have ultimate respect. There's 2 things I'm going to need. I want them to think I have a huge penis, and I want them to fear me physically.
Well, listen.
Not because I've done them harm.
Anybody will know, it will be your children.
Yeah. No, because Drew knows my plan with this is you're not a dad, so you don't understand this. But it's important for all the guys listening. They have to show their son their penis once and only once before the kid turns 6. And don't do it in a real obvious, overt way. Do it in a thing where you're walking out of the shower.
You're making much too big a thing. I used to see my father's penis all the time.
And you thought it was huge, right?
He had a very huge
Yes, this is my point. This is why you need to show your child your penis. Because your dad is probably average. It's just you were 3.5 feet tall, so his 5.5-inch penis seemed like 14 feet.
You know, my father was 6'3", and he always just wore, at night he just wore these T-shirts that were always hugely small very, very small for him. You know, because he was such a big guy.
But your dad's like a big Viking type of guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, it wasn't blonde, though.
No.
No, dark.
But he was a conqueror.
You guys are having way too much fun. We've got to take some calls. We've taken one call since Michelle's been here.
All right, well, we're having a left.
It's 5 to 11, you know?
Hey, are you...
We've helped one person.
I was reading your thing. Are you going out with Dennis Hopper? Are you married to him, or what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Where did I see that?
I don't know.
Drew, didn't we see something that said she was going out with Dennis Hopper?
Justin, how can we help you?
Yeah, I've been smoking marijuana about twice a week for about the last 5 months.
Yeah.
How old are you?
17.
Okay.
And I was just wondering how long it would take before I start to see like a negative effect from it.
Till you start to have mood problems or personality changes?
Yeah, or like laziness.
You're not necessarily going to. I'd love to tell you that you were, but you're not necessily going to. Not at that level. If it really is the daily pot smoker.
Once or twice a week isn't going to make you.
Be careful. I mean, do you have any alcoholism in your family?
No.
Okay.
But people that smoke a lot of weed have a predisposition to laziness.
I know, but he's not saying he smokes a lot of weed.
That's BS.
Please.
That is BS.
That's not
shush
true.
up, Drew.
How can you say that?
Oh,
I mean, there are
absolutely.
lots of people who smoke moderately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's talking about a very moderate.
Oh, he's talking about a moderate amount.
consumption.
Well, listen.
Well, that's what he said. Well, you're jumping to conclusions that he's going to be.
No, Adam and I have
not him
fights about marijuana addiction, and believe me, it exists. But his thing is that there's not as much of a change of demeanor as I would insist there is, based on Adam's history of your friends being sort of lazy or what, sort of unmotivated. The ones that were unmotivated and lazy became the potheads, as far as you were concerned.
The people I know who are unmotivated want to be stoned the whole time so they can't realize that they're unmotivated.
No.
And I don't claim it's the merit.
I've seen some
very... If you're talking about all the time, then yes, then I agree with you.
No, I'm not. Listen, I don't care if someone does heroin once a week. But
doesn't happen.
I know.
Yeah. And by the way, right now, listen, but the point is, I've been dealing with some young kids who have been smoking heroin once a week and thought, I'm just doing it once a week. Don't do that, okay? There is no casual use of crack, no casual use of heroin.
No, there isn't.
It escalates.
Okay. Well, we have to go to break. And, Drew, if you don't mind, I'd like to squeeze in some calls when we come back, and you can stop your flirting with Michelle. All right.
I got to detox you from
Listen,
Vicodin in your eye.
those
Whatever the
boys
hell's
need a
tonight.
father figure. And I think there'll be a new sheriff in town after tonight.
I don't go in for these backdoor shenanigans. Shenanigans.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Shenanigans.
Chips, dips, chains, whips.
Shenanigans.
High school, what you trying to think?
Loveline, I'll be right back.
All right. Loveline, Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and Papas, recent inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is here, and Dr. Drew, who was left out of the balloting this year.
Imagine
incidentally. All that work you did with the electric flag in the early 70s apparently was forgotten about. All right. We will be back in 10 seconds.
New Rock. 92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson.
It is Loveline.
Don't listen to anything coming out of Adam's mouth. Just learn to just
Michelle,
focus on the caller and just close the rest of that out. In fact, somebody that I was giving a lecture this afternoon, somebody goes, Drew, we want to see your Aunt B face.
Right.
I had no idea what they're talking about.
I must have said a time or two that Drew put that puss on that surprised Aunt B. You know, like when Opie did something wrong, how Aunt B would give that. Yeah, there it is.
And I thought to myself, boy, I just don't listen to anything you say. I didn't even ring familiar to me.
No. It's like you're Da Vinci's assistant and you think he's an idiot. That's really what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's more
Thank you, Michelle.
Background noise.
Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LVE-191. Michelle Phillips is here, as I'd mentioned.
Let's take a call.
All right, let's take a call.
Thank you.
I got so much to talk about. Hey, do you think you could have another daughter? So when I have a midlife crisis in about 20 years, I'd have someone to marry?
No, thank you. I've had a tubal ligation.
Oh, really?
Well, I can be overcome these days. No problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe the whole... Now, if you're going to clone...
No, thank you.
This
you know
is
what?
where you start, right here.
I wouldn't have any more children.
You wouldn't?
That's the last thing in the world that I'd want right now. I've done it, been there, sacrificed.
Julie.
Raised them, and now you can't throw them out on the street when you want to, you know. You got it.
No, but the boys are getting dangerously close to being tossed out. Julie, you're 19.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, I've got a question about nature versus love.
All right, well, just 1 second. Anything on the voice there?
No, I didn't pick
Go
up
ahead.
anything. Go ahead.
I feel that by nature I'm a lesbian, but I've got a boyfriend right now that I'm really, really in love with, and I'm planning. Well, we've made plans for the rest of our lives, and I really love him a lot. But I feel like I'm denying myself something sometimes. You know, I feel like, you know, I'm really attracted to women. I really am. And
well, you're bisexual.
Well, yeah. You know, I figured that, but the thing is, if I ever decided to be with a woman, it wouldn't be like, you know, well, we can do men or we can, you know, whatever. It would be serious. It would be like, you know, lesbians all the way. And sometimes I get really disgusted with men in general.
Hold on, Drew's up for some gambling. Now you're going back. You don't have $1? All right, let's do a gentleman's gambling bet on Julie, because I don't have $1 either. We're gambling on your past, okay, Julie?
Okay.
I'm not getting that weird a vibe off of Julie, other than general confusion.
Very confused. Very
yeah. All right. Well, why don't you venture a guess?
This is the kind of stories that I hear often from people who were sexually approached by a peer around the age of 6 to 10, sort of in that range.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything like that in the past, Julie?
Have you got your money down?
Yes.
All right. Well, actually, when I was about 5 or 6, so you're at the beginning of the scale, there were a couple girls that lived near me, and we had some experiences together. I don't remember a whole lot of it.
Oh, boy. Hold on. Let me kiss Drew's ass for a second and explain society to those
won?
Listeners. Drew did.
Drew won?
We didn't really gamble. It was a gentleman's bet, thank God.
Drew is right.
This is just a message to all the a-holes out there who think, and everyone's doing their own thing, and everyone's experimenting, and everyone's just living their life. But you know what? We're on autopilot much more than any of us either knows or wants to admit. Julie lays her problem out. Drew knows immediately that she was sexually approached by a peer, not a family member, not a biker who was passing through town, and and also puts the age range in there. You spoke to her off the air, didn't you, Drew?
Yeah, sure. No,
she's still there.
And that's, you know, and this is sort of leftover material from that. Kids that are sexualized at a young age end up very confused, and this quality of confusion is a common pattern that I hear anyway. And it's not about some being true to yourself. It's about having some unresolved issues, and if you really want to sort them out before you do commit yourself in some sort of long-term arrangement with your boyfriend, why don't you get some therapy and sort this stuff out? Because this has affected you, this experience. And it wasn't because you had some predisposition. I mean, the only predisposition you had is that you didn't have parents that were on top of things enough to see this coming.
Right.
Or that put you in a position to be willing to go along in the role of a quasi-victim. And I would suggest you look into things a little bit before you make any long-term commitments. And if you do decide to make a long-term commitment, make a commitment. Don't assume because you have same-sex feelings that it's then just because you're married to a male, it's okay to just experiment with the female while you're married, just because it's a different impulse. Monogamy is monogamy. Stable relationships are stable and committed, and you do anything to destabilize that, and you're asking for the relationship to fizzle out.
So here's my advice: you find a lesbian therapist, and you have a long non-sexual relationship with the lesbian therapist in which you pay $115 a 50-minute session.
You know, it's really
straighten this thing out.
I'm going to ask something. What is the difference, really? Where does the line cross where you're playing doctor or where you're...
It's very hard to say. That's right. Really the line is crossed when it becomes actually sexual and not exploration. In other words, there's nothing about a prepubescent child that would cause them to engage in a sexual act. They don't have the biology operating. They understand genitals and they have impulses around them, but to actually engage in a sexual connection, they don't have that. It doesn't make sense to them. They have no capacity to do that unless an adult has come in and done that to them, and then that child will go out and do that to their peers.
All right.
And that's where that...
We're going to try to take some calls. And by the way, she wasn't saying playing doctor. She meant what gives you the right to talk to teenagers that way.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
I understand.
You meant playing God, I think. Jerry,
you there?
Sleep?
I think we scared
There's a Jenny.
Jenny, all right.
Oh. All right, Jen.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
I've been with my boyfriend for 4.5 years, and about the last year, he's been sleeping on the couch. And I'm not sure what to do or what I've done wrong.
You guys are living together?
Yeah.
How long have you been living together?
3 years.
3 years.
How old is he?
29.
I'm sorry, how old are you?
She's 26. Maybe this is all part of a diabolical strategy so that when you get in an argument, you kick him onto the bed.
No,
There's a little twist there.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow you there. It was a little late at night for that.
If at all possible.
Late at night.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yeah.
Well,
a really bad one.
Why are you with him?
He talked me into moving to a town where I don't know anybody, and I'm not allowed to call my family, and I'm only allowed to work, and I only work 2 nights a week, and he calls me every hour on the hour to make
Do you
sure
have
I'm
kids?
still there.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got 2 daughters, a 7-year-old
Well,
and a
watch them,
5-year-old.
and they're not his?
No.
Okay, this is another pattern. This is the pattern of people that come in and abuse your children. Be very careful. Watch your kids at all times. This is that pattern. The man, the super controlling guy who needs to be idolized by his Wait
a minute, you're describing me, Drew.
I know.
Jenny, where's your dad?
He's with my mom in another town.
Is he alcoholic?
No, he's not. In fact, he's worked hard all his life. He just turned 76.
He must have done something wrong. What did he do wrong?
Other than the fact that he was never there, he worked 70-hour weeks.
So it's
70 hours is not...
Drew works 80-hour weeks.
Yeah, and I'm still with my kids.
Well, he hired a nanny, but they wear a Drew mask.
Well, he worked in the oil fields. He was out of town a lot.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Jenny, this isn't all right for you to bring your kids up around this guy, though. You know what I mean?
Just be careful. We don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to say that this guy is an abuser. I'm just saying this is that pattern. We're
So
talking
he
about
told me
pattern.
that if I left, they'd find different parts of my body all over the county.
Why are you staying there? I don't understand.
I'm
Why
afraid to leave. I don't have anywhere to go.
That's what shelters are for. There are shelters, aren't there?
So horrible.
Where
are you?
I haven't
Where are
been to
you?
anybody to hear about him.
Where are you calling from?
Ohio, Cambridge.
All right. So, Jenny, though, don't you think eventually this is going to come to some sort of bad culmination, like either he gets drunk and shoots you, or worse, he gets drunk and doesn't shoot you, sticks around for about 15 years, and your women, your daughters become women and end up hooking up with some abusive alcoholic a-hole and live their life that way?
I don't want that.
Yeah, but you got to be brave for your daughter's future. You know what I mean? I know it's easy for me to say, but
no,
you got to make a move.
It's not that. That's her responsibility to her children. Jenny, you have to find a way to get out of the relationship. You're not in love with him anymore. You might have been at one time, but you know.
Even that was based on something that probably could have been sorted out.
But if you stay in an abusive relationship, he could hurt not just you, but he could hurt your kids.
And if you decide to leave, it has to be a commando mission. You have to document his threats. You have to be prepared to bring in authorities. You have to be prepared to take injunctions against him. You have to be prepared
to
move,
really do it.
Get out of there.
All right, but
you have to be swift.
Start the research now, because there are shelters, there are groups. Especially ever since this whole Nicole OJ thing, this has been brought to the forefront. There's lots of organizations around who help women who are in the exact same position.
You should go you should call your nearest town, big town, and ask for the women's shelter, and then talk to whoever answers that phone.
Good advice.
John.
Yes. I was wondering if you had know about any kind of support group for antisocial people.
What do you mean? This is a great question. I like this.
I'm gonna start one, but we're not meeting at my house, you bastards. Tell you that right now. Don't you tracking mud on my carpet?
Yeah, really, Adam, you could be the Grand Poobah.
Yeah, I would address everyone via the speakerphone, though.
What do you mean by antisocial?
I have no friend. I don't get along with anybody.
Do you mean no social skills, or do you really mean somebody that can't handle authority and acts out and has criminal problems, that sort of thing?
How about like Michelle's teenage boys? Or
Antisocial doesn't usually mean unable to socialize. It means unable to tolerate social constraint.
Social being like society.
Society, yeah.
Has trouble. Sort of a Ted Kaczynski-esque. So, John, do you not have friends, or do you fight the law?
No, I don't have friends.
Mm-hmm. So, do you work?
I don't get along with anybody either.
Okay. Do you work?
Yes.
Where do you work? A video store?
A restaurant.
Oh, really? What do you do there?
I work in the kitchen.
Okay, it's good. To keep
Where's
you
your
there.
mom?
Where's my mom?
Mm-hmm.
I've lived with both my parents.
You live with both your parents?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think made you so difficult to get along with?
Well, I walk around with the angry look on my face all the time.
Do you take any medications?
No.
Have you been recommended anything?
No.
Have you ever been to see a doctor?
No.
Regarding your,
Angry look?
Is it just your look, or are you angry?
Well, I am angry, yeah.
Okay.
Do you ever do anything violent?
No, not anything that any other kid hasn't done, no.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever had a girlfriend?
No.
Well, that's why you're angry. Never been laid. Are you virgin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Angry guys don't like to admit they're virgins. It's sort of jovial for some reason. All right, so, John, you seem to have control of your faculties and everything. It just seems like this is kind of where you want to be. And you're probably scared to let people in and so forth because you're going to get hurt.
Are you afraid you're going to hurt somebody else?
No.
Would you like to have a girlfriend?
Well, I'd rather just be able to get along with function in society without pissing people off.
Mm-hmm. Well, how about smiling a little bit?
That's not... I can't smile unless I have a reason to.
All right. Listen, what do we got to find some motivation for you, like some bad acting class?
Were you beaten as a child? Physically abused?
I had a spanking or two.
Or three?
Were you hit with an object, like a switch or a belt or something? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. That qualifies as physical abuse, and it's hard to overcome the kind of hostility and rage that grows out of being treated like that by the people that you trust the most, your primary caretakers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but John, do society a favor, please. I don't want you to hurt anybody, but if you have to hurt somebody, shoot your dad, because that's only just. There's nothing worse than the dad is the perpetrator of abuse for many, many years, then the kid shoots your kid.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The dad was, I'm sure,
abused also.
I'm sure too, but
well.
it's too hard to go back and correct that. I'm just saying, if you have an impulse to strangle someone, strangle your dad. All right, but don't do that, John.
Find ways to get your aggression out, so you've released it in environments where you can feel safe releasing it, and so you're not walking around with it and it doesn't get projected out and keep bursting out of the seams when you're trying to interact with people and more.
I really don't think if I hit a heavy bag, I would just release it.
That wouldn't do it?
No.
Yeah. But at least make you tired, so you wouldn't hit anybody else. Hey, you got to get some Mamas and Papas CD. Do you have any of that?
No.
That's what you need. That's happy music. California Dreaming and Sunday.
What sign are you?
This is not going to work.
I have to know.
What's
I have to know.
Taurus?
Taurus, yeah.
Taurus. Oh boy.
Is that it?
That Taurus depression is terrible.
Well, I'm Gemini. What's that?
Me too. I'm a Gemini. We're very
really?
happy people.
Oh, we are?
But Taurus, right next
please.
to...
Well, this is a happy person?
Well, shut up. Hey, John.
Yeah.
Listen, you're 20. A lot of people are miserable when they're 20. But your job is not to be miserable when you're 25. So start doing some work.
Yeah, John.
Would you please?
Find
I know
things to make yourself happy.
Your dad was abusive. Your parents were a-holes. You don't have the world's greatest job, and you're not getting laid. But that can all change.
It sounds like you.
This is where I was at when I was 20. I'm 33. This is my life. All right, John.
Okay.
Don't waller in it.
And
John,
give them some specific, because little steps forward can really start to build on themselves, right?
Yes.
get a puppy.
No.
I just got a puppy today. No, John, you like Woody Allen movies?
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, I'll watch that. I mean, start looking for things in life that you enjoy and begin doing those things. I mean, is there anything you enjoy?
I mean, I enjoy listening to your show, but I mean, just if you're happy for an hour or 2 hours, it doesn't translate over to.
Well, then you switch over to Tom Likas, and you kill yourself. Now, listen. What are we supposed to do? Change a guy's whole disposition in 5 minutes?
But
it's hard.
Try to help him be part of his own solution. I mean, you've been there,
right?
And you just give him some words of advice how you did it.
Okay, John. I rarely do this. Actually, I do it twice a night, 5 nights a week. But for you, it's going to be extra special. I was in your place when I was 20. It was more the tears of a clown. I was not walking around with the puss on, but I was still fairly poor, fairly miserable. Didn't like my parents. Was cleaning carpets or digging ditches or something and driving a truck that actually had the bench seat pulled out of it and a dinette set type chairs, Naugahyde bolted in its place. That's how big a loser I was. I was driving around in a dinette set. And I was miserable. But I said, listen, here's my goal. My goal is to be happy by the time I'm 30. And I know that seems like a long ways off, but you get to be progressively happier. It's not like on your 30th birthday, the gregarious fairy comes by and sprinkles his pixie dust on you. So I started thinking about what it is I wanted to do. And there's a ton of satisfaction. See, here's the mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people think, and I did this for many years, you think, listen, I'm miserable. What makes me happy? Well, getting high makes me happy. Getting laid makes me happy. Pornography makes me happy. Using the Lord's name in vain makes me happy. So I'll just do all the things that make me happy because I'm miserable, and that's going to make me happy, but then that's empty. What really makes you happy is when you pick a goal, set your sights on something, and start moving that direction, and then you get those little victories. These are the things that make you happy, as corny as this sounds, from the inside, and it sort of heads out, instead of the stuff like smoking pot and watching porn, which makes you happy on the outside, and it never quite sinks in. And if it does, it just ends up in the hamper 5 minutes later. So, John, you got to figure out what it is that makes you happy more on the inside. Look more toward goals than toward smiling, and start heading that direction.
Take responsibility.
And if you take that anger, that rage, and that sort of general dissatisfaction you have in life and aim it toward those goals, it gives you that much more energy toward that. All right. Well, that was quite motivational.
Yeah, it was. I'm moved.
You're looking at me in a little different light now, aren't you?
No, don't.
Yeah. We may have that second or third family after all, huh? Yes.
I began to float up and away from my body.
Lady, you better get back here. If you're not here when Loveline returns, they're going to be pissed.
Adam Carolla, so don't go away.
Yes, you is. All right, so you have it. Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Michelle Phillips is here.
Hi,
Fresh.
Stacey.
Don't make me hang a sheet up between the booth and here. Fresh off her triumphant acceptance, at least her and the rest of her mamas and papas, to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the big show over, it was in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even though the facilities in Cleveland...
No one will go to Cleveland, so they don't have it in Cleveland.
Nobody, meaning none of the press or none of the bands or...
The bands.
Who isn't going to Cleveland?
There's 1,000 people that they have to get into the auditorium.
I hear Cleveland's a nice town, though.
They charge $2,000 a seat.
Oh, boy, not for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Take the seat home for $2,000.
So no one wants to go to Cleveland for that.
You can replace those dinettes.
It seems like Cleveland would be fine. I don't have a map in front of me, but it seems like a lot of the talent is out in the East Coast, and a lot of the talent is out here in the West Coast. Yeah. And if you put it in Cleveland, everyone just sort of meet right in the middle there. I've never been to have you been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I know it sounds stupid. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
You don't have to.
You don't have to go there to be inducted.
And what? And do you get like a bronze bust of yourself?
No, it's a bronze bust of something that looks suspiciously like Oscar, but he's black.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like a bronze. No, dark.
Does he have
leg.
an afro? No.
I think he's bald.
So they give you a statue, and then at the actual Rock and Roll Hall
And
of
he's
Fame...
holding a great big CD.
Oh, really?
Or an LP. You're not sure what it is. It's really like a huge LP.
But at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, what do they give you? I mean...
Some rubber chicken.
What does your exhibit look like? Is there an exhibit there?
Well, I gave them some of my clothes. I gave them the stuff. I gave them the thing that I wore at Monterey Pop, and I gave them another. It's all Indian saris,
right?
Things made out of these beautiful Indian saris, and I gave them my boots that I wore on the first album cover.
And they put it in a display case.
Apparently, they're about to change the whole. They're going from one floor to another. They're in a pyramid,
right?
And they're going to a larger floor, down. I think they're going to the third floor.
Looks like a big Hard Rock Cafe or something.
Really? I'd love to see the place, although I doubt I ever will. I got to get by the...
Well, it opens in April, the new one. So.
And isn't the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Ohio, too?
Yeah,
Canton?
So. Canton, Ohio.
And where's the baseball? Cooperstown, where is that? Cooperstown, Nebraska?
Ohio?
Is that Cooperstown, Ohio? What is the deal with Ohio? Did they... No. Wait.
New York.
It's in New York?
Basketball?
The Baseball Hall of Fame?
Isn't basketball?
They don't have basketball.
Basketball in Springfield.
They do?
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Shouldn't we have one out here in L.A., for Christ's sake? Oh, we got that goddamn Tolerance Museum. I hate that place.
We just make the legends out here.
It was a little Tolerance museum comedy there, Drew. What are you looking at, Drew?
Ann was screaming at me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's take another call.
Yeah, we are. Julie.
Yes?
Hi,
yeah.
Julie.
Hi. I'm calling because I heard that Adam would fart on anybody's head that needs the money.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. 18-year-old Julie.
Michelle, you'll be impressed by this. This will impress you. I know.
Yeah.
And,
remember that motivational speech I gave just 5 minutes ago? Be prepared to be unmotivated, Michelle. Why do you need the $500 first and foremost?
Well, my friend is homeless. He's on GR, and he's in a motel, but he only has a week till the 21st, and then he'll be on the street. And
I have a strict policy about farting on the homeless. I don't feel good about that.
I said I'll be willing to let you fart on my head for my friend.
Make money for the friend.
Yes.
Is that against your policy, Adam?
Yeah, well, how do we know this guy's...
Actually helping people is somehow against the parole rules?
Listen, I don't want to sound cruel, but one thing I've discovered about a lot of folks that are homeless is they're homeless because they spent the last $10 they had, they bought Night Train with it. You know what I'm saying?
Why is he homeless?
What if we give this guy the $500 and he just smokes it?
Oh, no, he doesn't smoke or nothing.
Well, why is he... How old is he?
24.
Why is he homeless at 24?
Because he has problems and he can't work.
What are his problems?
Well, he
She has the hack of a 70-year-old. Hey, Julie, what's going on in the background there? Some sort of cattle auction?
Huh?
What's going on back there?
My friend's here, and he's
the homeless one.
Huh?
Could you tell him to turn Springer down just a little bit so we could converse?
Oh, wait, we were just... I think we're on Keenan.
Hey, we're on Keenan.
Right now.
Are we on right now?
Keenan in there. We're already off. Turn on Keenan, man.
Julie?
Huh? Please.
Why is he homeless?
Oh,
God.
And the great producer. Oh, Christ. I got to sit up.
Okay. No, he's homeless. Huh? Because he lost his job. And...
Julie, listen. I feel badly for your homeless friend, but I don't want the money to change hands. I'm going to pay somebody, a young woman, $500 for me to fart on her head. And then we're going to give that $500 right to the institution that she's currently going to, or for books or what have you. We'll pay a medical bill. I don't want her to then hand the $500 off to somebody else.
Help, your friend is on general relief.
I don't want any middle fart man.
He's getting the resources he needs. If he needs, let's work on getting him some work or vocational rehabilitation. This is the
Now, what's 500 going to do? It's going to buy him another month at the,
That's the point.
The motel.
This is the, you can give a man a fish and feed him today, but teach him how to fish and you feed him for life. Right. This is that.
Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, and
he eats for a lifetime.
He's got some kind of hobby. No, he eats for a lifetime. All right, so we won't do this. Now, let me just explain to Michelle, because I can see her rolling her eyes over there. I'm going to fart on somebody's head for $500 because a young girl wanted to pose nude on the Internet only for the $500. Her boyfriend didn't want her to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she was willing to compromise her morals for $500. And I said, wow. I said, well, how about I fart on your head for $500? Would you do that? And she ended up saying yeah, and then I thought, hey, this is good radio. You know.
Well, I'm glad you explained that.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what we were talking about.
No, you thought it was some radio stunt. You had no idea the
social impact.
But it's a good analogy, because if you would just do anything for money.
That's right. That was the point.
Then you have a serious character flaw.
Well, that's what it was meant to be initially. It was meant to be an example of, hey, how about I fart on your head for $500?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
But it's amazing that people don't realize what a character flaw that is.
Right. How disturbed somebody have to be to come in here and have Adam fart on them?
Yeah.
So anybody who comes in here is going to be terribly disturbed.
Degrade myself in any way for money. It's I think maybe it's something we taught our children when Pretty Woman became a big hit.
I think we taught them that bad writing and mediocre acting could really be a box office draw. I think that was part of the message when Pretty Woman became a hit. But no, we live in a society that says money at all costs. We respect people who make money. We don't care how they make it.
Right.
And this is just sort of trickle down.
Yeah.
Trickle down my colon. Laura.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
I have a question for Adam, and I don't want Dr. Drew to help at all.
Great.
Okay.
Hold on. Mike, shut Drew's mic off. Would
Laura,
you please?
how old are you?
I'm actually 28, and my name isn't Laura.
Oh, that's okay.
But I am the co-host on the MTV Loveline show, and I would like you to tell me my name.
Oh, Diane Farr.
Oh, very good.
Oh, you little bitch.
I heard you have some trouble remembering it at times.
Oh, please.
You heard him last night?
I didn't hear him last night. I was bragging about how wonderful you guys are to a friend of mine. They said, yeah, we heard them on the radio last night. That guy doesn't even know your name.
Now, wait a minute. No, Diane, listen. The way that came up is we were talking about how...
Boy, that was a close call right there, too, Drew.
First of all, we're talking about how...
It's a good thing I was just masturbating to you tonight.
Very light on your feet there.
No, Dan, we were talking about how pathetic we are and how detached we get from stuff we're doing, and how you walked in here and he couldn't place you. When between where we stopped and when Christmas vacation came around, when you came up here, he was pathetic.
I see. So 10 years later, he forgot about me.
And we were talking about how pathetic we are with names and things. This was the example of how...
Are you a producer?
No, I sit on the couch next to him.
On the TV show, there are three of us.
Oh.
And she's the third.
Hold on, is this Chris McGaha? Who is this? Oh, Drew, were you in on this?
No.
Who was busting my balls here? Was that Ann? Oh, that's why she's too busy to turn Keenan on. Are we on Keenan, by the way?
By the way, let's discuss that while we're on the radio. Tell everybody to turn their TVs on.
Oh, who cares? People can do that.
Keenan on.
Don't bring it to their attention.
Well, please, they turn it on, they turn it off. That's it.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad to hear you remember my name.
Diane, people will know Diane soon. She'll be as of January 26th.
And wasn't I saying wonderful things about Diane?
Yes, you were.
Were you saying about that wonderful girl that sits next to you on the couch?
Yes, he was. No, yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah, but I was calling you dude. Couldn't remember your name. All right, Diane. Thank you for trying to bust my balls.
All right.
See you
that's
Friday.
why they call him Clutch Carolla.
Yeah.
Oh, that was close. Because she used Laura, and I got a little confused, and almost called her Diana because of Laura.
You did very well.
Thank you. All right, Michelle, we'll explain that whole episode to you during the break.
Why don't you try rapping it this time?
Yo, kick some flavor and stuff in Loveline. I'll be right back in a minute.
I'm sorry, that was really bad.
You're just not straight like me.
this is Rhonda Shear, and I like to stay up all night with Loveline, and so should you.
Yes, indeed. Michelle Phillips is here of the Mamas and Papas and TV and a bunch of movies, and I find her quite delightful. Drew?
Yes.
Drew's like a cyborg. You know what, Drew?
You just sit and stare at yourself.
If Drew was a robot, they would complain. They would go, his speech patterns aren't realistic enough. We're going to have to rework that chip a little bit. Yeah, we want him to be a little more organic. Right. Yes.
Well,
I find that Michelle
we come in and do this stuff, and we walk out. We have no idea what just happened to us. You know, we walk in, we walk on, walk off, we go home.
VCRs are really cool. You can.
I don't know how to work one.
Operate it. We're here.
Maybe your kids can.
No, in a couple years, they can operate a computer.
I can record something on the VCR if I'm there.
I have to be there, and I have to use a stick to hold the button down. The second I remove the pressure from the button, I stop recording, or I just record Davy and Goliath. All right, Michelle Phillips is here. Drew's watching us on Keenan right now, and Ann's PO'd about it.
You look pretty bored there.
I look bored?
Yeah.
Well,
because I'm talking.
All right, just quiet. Turn the TV set off. Drew. Let's talk to you got a call there?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, let's take a call. This is very distracting.
Yeah, it is. Shut that
off. You turn it off.
DJ.
Yes.
DJ, you're 20.
Yes.
What's going on?
I'm a single mother, and I found out a week ago I'm pregnant again.
That's great. See, if I was in power, this would never happen. What happened?
I started seeing this guy about 2 months ago, and we were having sex, no big deal, until I found out I was pregnant. I got a hold of him, and I let him know, and he came over tonight, and we talked, and he gave me his opinion, and he's trying to pretty much talk me into getting an abortion. I mean, that's his point of view, is to just get an abortion, that would be the best, that I'm not ready to have another kid, and he's not ready to be a father.
Where's the original dad from the first kid?
He lives in Alaska.
Oh, and you live in Alaska, too?
No, I live in Washington.
Oh, that's a short hop through Canada.
1,000 miles.
There.
Wait, why is it no big deal if you're having unprotected sex? I'm just curious.
I mean, it is a big deal. It just wasn't thought of at the time that I was going to get pregnant. I mean, it was...
where was the kid while you were having sex, by the way?
Oh, he was never around. I mean, I would either go over to Chris's house.
Right.
Now, he was being facetious, I think. But
well, what I'm saying is...
But who supports this child?
You mean the child that I have now?
Yeah.
His father pays child support, and I'm a working mother.
Okay. Listen, let's support that.
Yeah, I'm just...
But understand
he pays in walrus pelts.
But understand, if you have sex, you will get pregnant.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There's a connection there.
Yes, I understand that, and I understand that if I do the deed, I have to pay the consequences. I'm totally aware of that.
No. See, here's where I'm not looking at child rearing as some sort of cross that needs to be bared. You know, you know what I mean? I mean, oh well, you made a mistake. Now you're going to pay.
Right? No,
I don't
like
that.
Yeah.
I don't want raising kids to be like some form of social punishment.
Well, how do you feel about the abortion?
I've had an abortion before with my ex-husband, and it was a mistake, and I did it because I knew that I wasn't financially, emotionally, and physically ready to have another kid, and so I thought it was for the best.
Are you now?
I don't know if I could live with myself to have another abortion.
What about adoption?
I don't think I could live with that, but if I had to if it was a life or death situation that I had to make a choice between abortion and adoption, I would rather do adoption.
Well, in an interesting way, it is a life or death situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's somebody's life we're talking about here.
I mean, I'm kind of...
And I insist that we talk about it that way, even though I'm willing to consider abortion in the mix here.
Yeah, but, adoption, is, I think, a very, very good thing to consider.
Oh, my God. I
think women, to somebody who would have a mother and a father...
That's right. And women who go through a pregnancy and then give that child for adoption there should be a Hall of Fame right there.
That's right.
There should be, some sort of social accolade.
It's a very selfless act, and it's really...
in the best interest of the child.
It's in the totally best interest of the child. It's not the worst thing in the world that you could do. If you can't... Listen, if you don't believe in abortion, that's a very, very personal and a very emotional subject. you can't be talked into that.
Mhm.
You know, but if you should definitely think about what's good for this child. And it's not going to be good for this child to live with a single parent that already has enormous responsibilities. And I don't know.
And a dad that doesn't want the child to be around anyway.
All right, let me put in my 2 cents. Here's the dichotomy that drives me insane. People such as DJ, and don't get me wrong, DJ, I feel sorry for the position you're in. I don't feel sorry for the person who put you in that position, but I feel sorry for what you're going through right now. But so that being said, let me say this. We have people that call in where they think it's irresponsible or somehow, it is morally reprehensible to have an abortion. They couldn't give their kid up for adoption, but they don't have any problem with unprotected sex constantly.
Right.
Even though you've had one child, even though you've had a prior abortion, now you're pregnant again, but all of a sudden you have a real difficulty with the subject of abortion or something. You really shouldn't have such difficulty with these topics considering you've been having frequent unprotected sex. It's really like saying, I've been robbing banks for 5 years, but I really have difficulty with the concept of prison.
Well, I think that you must have wanted to get pregnant, DJ. You must have wanted to create the situation
of course,
over again,
in some
or you
level.
wouldn't have done it. You know that you're going to get pregnant if you have unprotected sex. That is something. You're a big girl. You know that.
Yes.
So what is this? Why are you doing this?
I don't like protection, and I guess so the only protection that I do use is that the guy pulls out. And
which is a non-protection.
I hate to sound like Drew, but that's not protection. That's a porn movie.
Yes.
It's I would call it a money shot.
By the way, I'm not sure I would say it quite like that, but okay.
Well, it isn't protection. That's erection and ejaculation, but that's not a protection.
I'm kind of stuck with all 3 different ways, and I've talked to different people and gotten different opinions and different influences. And I mean, one hour I'm influenced one way, and the next hour I'm influenced another way. And I feel that I shouldn't be influenced in any way, and I should go with what's in my heart.
All right, but what's going on? Where's your dad?
My dad lives here in Washington.
And what happened with him? What's up with your family?
I haven't told them. I feel that.
What did they do to you when you were growing up?
What did they do? Where'd they steer you wrong?
Nowhere. My mom, when she found out that I was pregnant with my first child, she was completely there to help me. She had a child when she was the same age, 16 too.
And who was the child? Was it you?
No, my older sister.
How old were you when she had you?
She had me when she was like in her 20s.
Okay.
20s or 21?
Her late 20s.
Okay.
Wow, how many kids does your mom have?
She has 6 kids.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And we got some catching up to do. All right, listen, DJ. The only reason I'm being cruel to you is because you're undoing the world. This DJ times a million is what is going to knock this effing world off its axis. We can't have a bunch of people getting pregnant with no dad around so that their kids can either go on to commit crimes or get pregnant themselves.
It's true. I mean,
and this is it. And
not taking responsibility for your actions, which is what you're doing when you're having unprotected sex. You don't care. It's like, okay, if I get pregnant, fine, because somebody will take care of me.
Let's be careful. We're getting a little preachy, guys.
No, who cares?
I am. I'm a little preachy.
I want to have an abortion. That's what I. That's my
amazing. I'm trying to. I find this a great role reversal for me.
She romanticizes the whole thing. The whole thing is very romantic.
You got to put yourself in the role of a 20-year-old who's trying to find some meaning and gratification out of life, and think of the way men treat women and the way women are treated in the workplace. And what this person is trying to do with the 5 siblings and on her own without her parents, and what options she has to try to be happy in life. She's making some huge mistakes.
Sorry for her.
I totally agree with you from the standpoint of personal responsibility, but she really has an opportunity right here and now to make some selfless choices that would be good for somebody else and even for her.
All right, adoption.
Yeah.
And God help me, I swear this is why I'm going to run for office one day. I'm coming down there and putting Norplant in you myself.
Yeah, I don't understand what the problem is with pills. I mean, what there's so many forms of contraception.
Because our society doesn't understand the difference between health and disease, and everybody's convinced that the medical field is going to make them sick, and those pills are just horrible, and I heard they give you cancer, and nonsense.
All right, but the government is involved with so many aspects of our life. Here's the one point. This is the one part I want them involved in. You have a kid like this, you get the Norplant. That's it. Oh, you've been Kevin.
Yeah.
Hey, you're 27.
Hey, how's it going?
You're not pregnant, are you, bastard?
Oh, no. All right, hey, but I got to tell you guys, you're literally saving my life by being on the air every night. I work at night, so I'm on the road late at night, and I was having a problem falling asleep on the road. And so I listened to your show, and it keeps me awake and entertains me pretty good. You go off tomorrow, God help me. I'll probably crash and burn, but...
What's going on?
Well, I'm on the road a while ago with a friend. We're comics, so we're doing a show. We're hanging out with some of the audience members. One of them was a young lady we spent a lot of time with. Very attractive, nice figure, very feminine. One little flaw, the Adam's apple, which kind of was, weird. And so, I was telling a couple of friends about it, and they all sort of gave the obvious answer. Well, it's got to be a guy. Couldn't have been a guy.
Was it a big Adam's apple?
It was a big old thing coming out of her throat.
Sure, it wasn't her thyroid?
I don't know what it couldn't have been. It was an Adam's apple. It was a big old...
It could have been a thyroid.
Was she very tall?
Was it what?
Was she very tall?
Yeah, she's about 5'8".
The women don't have Adam's apples, or they don't protrude.
It's not as prominent as the male. That's right.
This was pretty.
But certainly a woman could. It's within the spectrum of possibility.
Well, that's what we were trying to figure out. It was,
yes, it's possible. But you guys don't have a trained eye. It might have been a goiter. It might have been thyroid. And in Elizabethan times, that was considered
very beautiful,
a mark of beauty.
Yeah.
The thyroid.
The bigger, the better.
Big,
in fact, you could.
Goiter.
Yeah, Adam would probably have a goiter fetish if he lived
goiter
there.
going down your neck. That was the bluer and the bigger and the mushier it was, the more beautiful it was.
Someone said it might have to do with an excess of testosterone or something like that.
Yeah, it's true. If it really was the larynx, which is what sticks out as the Adam's apple, but that it could. But again, it could be a normal excess for her genetic makeup.
Okay,
so what happened So were you going to tell us something about her? Or were you just asking if you thought
we
she
were
was...
just kind of curious. I mean, it was sort of on our heads for the
What did she act like? I mean, did she act like a chick?
Yeah, she acted like a girl. Everyone was saying, "Oh, it has to be a guy. It has to be a man." But she was very feminine young lady. She was about 18 years old.
What a terrible thing this girl is living with. I mean,
it's just kind of
probably
weird.
going to save her life.
She needs a friend. I think you ought to befriend her.
Well, we were.
She needs a scarf more than a friend. Really.
A big turtleneck.
She's a friend and a scarf. Hey, Kevin, you're a stand-up comedian?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Pretty well, actually. Real well. Traveling here and there, a lot of small towns and all that stuff. But I'm loving it. Hey, are you going to do stand-up?
No.
Like, still, you're not doing that anymore?
I despise stand-up. I hate stand-up. I never liked it. I did it a handful of times and was repulsed by it. Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty funny, though, huh?
Oh, yeah. I liked your comment about the truck driver finding third gear last night.
Thank you very much. Thanks,
Kevin.
All right, keep listening. Well, there you go. The professionals say Adam's a hit. This guy's a journeyman stand-up comedian. And you know how those comedians are about praising other comedians.
Yeah. In fact, I've never heard that come out.
He just volunteered that, by the way.
He's lying. He's not a comedian.
I've never heard a comedian say a kind word about another comedian.
That's right. We're all very jealous.
Well,
That's
you're
why
going places.
I'm the only funny one. All right. We're taking a break. We'll be back.
People of Earth, we were going to help you, but you don't need our help. You have Loveline, and you're a bunch of sickos.
This is Mission Control. Loveline will be right
All right. Well, congratulations on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing one more time, Michelle. It was a delight.
It was fun. It was an eye-opener for me, I'll tell you.
Well, if you'd ever like your eyes opened even further, you can come back and join us.
I'd like to. Now,
Right.
the format's so interesting.
Yeah, and get that daughter of yours, China, to come on here. And
You'd love it. She'd be very good at this.
You know what? You're right. You guys come on together. She could badmouth you on the air and tell you what a horrible job you did as a mother. All right. We've plumb out of time. Poe is going to be in here tomorrow night, which is, you listeners may not care. I don't know, but I am delighted.
She's trying.
And I don't mean to say that you shouldn't. I'm just saying, for me, it's been too long since I've seen Poe.
Yeah.
One of the genuinely wonderful people in this business. In a business that's hard to find wonderful people, except for people like Michelle Phillips over here. So, until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed herein are certainly opinions, that's for sure.
If you'd like a written transcript of today's program, you probably should have written it down yourself. And if you did, we'd like a copy.
Loveline producer Ann Wilkins.
This broadcast was copyright 1997 Westwood